Hi guys, it's Archivist here with yet another Top 5. As many of you may well know, Peter Capaldi was revealed to be the next Doctor, and to celebrate what I believe to be an excellent choice, I've decided to do a Top 5 Doctor Who episode list. Firstly, I will cover some criteria. Being not old enough to experience classic Doctor Who firsthand, I will only be covering episodes in the modern era, that's Christopher Eccleston onto Matt Smith. Also, the position in which I place the episodes is of course entirely subjective, meaning that no one episode is inherently better than another. Keeping these in mind, please enjoy the top 5 list.
Number 5.
In at number 5 is one of the scariest Doctor Who episodes ever made, Blink. In this episode we first see the Weeping Angels, monsters that are only able to move when not being observed by others. When out of their stony chameleon skin, they are able to move at extreme speeds, meaning that they can cross a room in the time that it takes for you to blink. A unique aspect about this episode is that the Doctor isn't in it a great deal, however he does make a large impact nevertheless. Moffat instead decided to focus on the character of Sally Sparrow, a non-time traveller. Given that the protagonist is not used to dealing with monsters and is therefore more vulnerable, adds to the creepy atmosphere very well.
Number 4.
Grabbing number 4 is easily my favourite Matt Smith episode, which also happens to be his first. There are lots of aspects in the 11th hour that I really enjoyed, including the unsettling nature of Prisoner Zero, as well as the introduction of the new companion, Amy Pond. What really makes me love this episode though is the speech at the end that the Doctor gives to the Atraxi, where he manages to send them packing with just his words. Tennant wasn't going to be an easy act to follow, but Smith managed to rise to the challenge.
Number 3.
I really wasn't sure about number 3. I was trying to think about an episode that was really unique and self-contained. After a while I finally decided that Father's Day would take bronze for 2 important reasons. Firstly, the episode touches on 2 powerful subjects of fatherhood and death. The moment when Rose's dad had to kill himself in order to prevent the end of the world is very sad, but the fact that Rose is finally able to say goodbye to her dad sweetens it a bit. The next is that I thought the time dragons were not only an excellent idea but incredibly well designed and frightening. They aren't a Doctor Who enemy that stand and negotiate, they just lunge at whatever they can see and begin to devour its very essence. I really hope they make a repeat appearance, as I believe them to be a deeply underrated monster with a genuine fear factor.
Number 2.
At number 2 is the action-packed episode Doomsday, which acted as a departure for Rose Tyler. In this episode we bid an emotional farewell to Rose, as she is sucked into a parallel universe never to step foot into the Doctor's world again. Well, this isn't quite true as we do see her in series 4, but that's the impression you get anyway. Although I liked the emotion in this episode, it was the epic battles between the Daleks and Cybermen that made the episode stand out for me. The standout scenes include when the Daleks are actually taunting the Cybermen, and rightly so as they are shown to be considerably more powerful. And of course David Tennant gave a spectacular performance in this episode as he usually does, and so did the rest of the cast. Although I did think the Cybermen were a bit wooden, but something tells me that that might have been intentional.
Number 1.
Elevating itself into first position is the episode Dalek. Why did I decide to put this episode on here, you may wonder? Well, first off, Christopher Eccleston shows some of the darker emotions to the Doctor in the form of fear, anger and desperation. It's a side to him entirely foreign to viewers up until this point in season 1. It also manages to convey Daleks as somewhat frightening, which, let's be honest, is quite difficult. They're just giant salt shakers. They aren't naturally imposing, let's be honest, so what they have going for them instead is how deadly they are. In this episode, the Dalek is capable of killing hundreds of soldiers and is only stopped when it decides to end its own life. The fact that just one Dalek could cause as much damage as this makes them actually quite frightening. If I'm honest, I don't like what has been done to the Doctor's oldest enemy recently, as they seem a lot less intelligent and far more open to negotiation. What I would love for Moffat to do in the next series is to bring the Daleks back to this killing machine mentality, where one alone is capable of wiping out an entire base complex. Those are my top 5 Doctor Who episodes. If you disagree or agree, feel free to comment below. As always, thanks for watching, see you next time.